Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive right into this build. DirtyHotte's FAT THOR SLAP build. It's a PvE focused build which makes you feel like Fat Thor himself. You move slow but you slap hard. It's a versatile build depending on which exotic you use. And we will do that. We will do that a little bit different than usually. We will start with the mods, and I will tell you why. I just opened the mods right away. Because there's that mod setup and we do it on the cheat sheet. Ladies and gentlemen, focus a little bit. Thank you, Jay. Let's go over the mods quickly. So I run double hands-on because we will have a lot of melee kills with the Thunderclap. Then Well of Striking. Then double melee kickstart. Elemental Wellmaker. Elemental Well. Melee Wellmaker. Well of Irons. Heavy-handed and Outreach. Ladies and gentlemen, okay? This last row, we start with that row because any arc melee build you might run, if you run this exact setup here in the last row and double melee kickstart in PvE, okay, this setup, as long as you're charged with light and you kill something and pick up one elemental well, this gives you your melee back in an instant, and that's why this setup of mods is so important for me and for you, for every melee build that is arc focused. I don't know if we can do something the same, basically, if it's a different subclass, but for arc, this is the setup you want to run, and this is the setup which gives you 100% back your melee back to back. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, as always, let's switch in-game, okay? Let's talk a little bit about the subclass. I mean, you might have guessed it. We are running Thundercrash because I love Thundercrash. Then we have the abilities. Towering Barricade because I like Towering Barricade. Strafe Lift because it's awesome for movement. Thunderclap, which is called the FAT THOR SLAP. That will be our main source of damage in this build. Then I use the Pulse Grenade. And the Pulse Grenade brings us right to the aspects because I use Knockout. That is basically melee attacks, do things and amplify you, blah blah blah. And when you're amplified, your regular melee is also counting as a powered melee and gives you or spawns wells with Elemental Wellmaker. So that's the point of Knockout. Regarding grenades, that's why we run Touch of Thunder, and I use the Pulse Grenade. Because then we create Ionic Traces just to get even more abilities back in case we fuck that up. Yeah, so that's basically the aspects. We're pretty quick with them because I want to show you some stuff. Then we have the Fragments. Spark of Resistance. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resilient to incoming damage and plus 10 strength. I really like that one for Arc. It feels like kind of a must-have for melee-focused stuff. And Arc Titan, especially compared to the other subclasses, feels a bit squishy, so I like to have that. Then Spark of Magnitude, your lingering grenades, blah 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 blah, have extended duration. So we use that because of Touch of Thunder. Then Spark of Discharge. Arc Weapon Final Blows have a chance to create Ionic Trace. I mean, we use that, and we also use an Arc Weapon. So that's that. That gives us also ability energy back. Then we have Spark of Frequency. Melee hits greatly increase your reload speed for a short duration. That's basically most of the stuff we will kill with the melee, and if we don't, then it's nice to have a faster reload, especially for Thunderlord. Oh, now I already said, no, we actually don't use Thunderlord. We use something different. Oh, damn it. With that said, let's switch screens. Back to the cheat sheet. So, that's what we were talking about. Let's summarize that here. Subclass, abilities, aspects, fragments, all in this area here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a rather quick build, and now is the time where it also gets interesting. So the first interesting part really were the mods, and now, as I said, it's a versatile build depending on which exotic you use. Now let's talk about the exotics. Okay, and for that, Dirty comes prepared. Let me switch back because I will show you the exotics we gonna run in a little video clip. Did it work? Yes, it did work. Let's see if the video is here. Okay, so Dirty comes prepared. We will try different exotics with that setup. I will pause that and I will show you the damage number. So the first one is we are heading over to Nessus, to our old friend Carl, to do some damage testing. So the first one is the exact build with the FAT THOR SLAP with Synthoceps. So let's see how that goes. I don't know how loud that actually is. I toned it down a little bit. And let's see how that works. We will pause it, okay? Ladies and gentlemen. So that's the first part. We just have to hit some of those things to get well to drop to get the damage buff. There was the elemental well dropping. I catch that for the damage buff. Actually, Bungie, we have to work on that buffs. We need to see more than 4 because with a build like that, with so much going into it, it's hard to see. Anyway, so we are going for Karl. Karl decides to jump right over us, which means we have to run around again. Anyway, he won't avoid our FAT THOR SLAP. Now let's slap him. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the FAT THOR SLAP with Synthoceps and I forgot what it's called, the Ionic Well damage buff of 30%. That's 422,878. This is a lot. It is a lot. Now, let's look at the next exotic. Yeah, let's kill Karl first. Poor guy. Karl versus FAT THOR SLAP with Wormgod. Okay, with Wormgod. So that's basically the exotic. When you get a melee kill, you stack the damage up. Let's see how much that does, shall we? So as said, you have to do some melee kills to actually stack the damage up. That's why this Lost Sector is amazing. We will get nearly killed by Karl, but just nearly. So don't fear for Dirty. So this is Wormgod, and because of the buffs, what I just said, I don't know if we have 5 stacks. I don't know if we have the melee damage buff. But anyways, it's 612,014. This is by far more than Thunder Crash with the damage improving exotic. 612,000. Is that the most we can do with that build? No, it isn't. It isn't. 612 is already pretty good. Let's look at the next one. That's again, it's Karl versus FAT THOR SLAP with Wormgod and the Boob Cannon. I just renamed it to Boob Cannon. Yeah. Let's see how much that does, okay? Shall we? Just stack the damage up. Prime Karl. And then we go for 687,176. And if we would be able to double wield the Boob Cannon, it would be actually boobs. Okay. So that's 687, and I'm pretty sure I fucked it up with the elemental well, because as the highest I got so far with that setup was 712,000, which is way more than your super. But if you combine that with your Thunder Crash, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's over 1 million damage in one quick combo. That is actually amazing, ladies and gentlemen. And with that said, I have something prepared for Jay, just for Jay, because okay, now we have huge damage. We have huge damage with the FAT THOR SLAP. But what is if we don't want to have huge damage on bosses, but some ad clearance? Okay, that's where we can use it. Yeah, 687. I already said that, Dirty. You can absolutely also use that with Severance Enclosure for some amazing ad clear. Because then you can kill stuff in the distance with the range of FAT THOR SLAP. And everything around it explodes. Let's just see with Karl. It doesn't do that much damage on Karl anymore. It's 70,000. I definitely fucked that up. I think it's 90,000 tops without the Boob Cannon. But it's nice how you can kill stuff like... They are crammed together really nice. And that's... groups you can like annihilate. Okay, I mean everything is gone. Okay, everything is gone in your way, and you can already see it here, over here, ladies and gentlemen, what I talked about, the mod setup. Okay, see how my melee is nearly full again. It's already close to full, and now I just have to collect that well, and we are back with the next Thunderclap. Okay, where's my mouse? I just go back quickly, okay? So that's 84, that's also okay. I want to talk about this scene a little bit. What helps if you have trouble using the FAT THOR SLAP, aka Thunderclap, in close proximity, okay? Slide and hold your melee during the slide, because that will start actually the charge, but not the animation, and then you can get closer. As you can see here, it looks like I'm just freezing there, but you see the effect around my arm, okay? So I'm actually charging it. You have to get a feel for it when it's nearly full, or you just wait until it automatically releases. That's just a filler until Bungie decides to fix that, actually. So you can also discharge it like that. And then we have, yeah, 80 something versus Carl. But I think that's fine, okay? That's okay. Let's head over to the cheat sheet where I wanted to be before. Let's talk about the exotics I just showed you. Okay, so with the exotics, Synthoceps gets the melee buff when you're surrounded. Why do I have typos like in every cheat sheet? Maybe that's the new thing here. Find the typo in Dirty's cheat sheet and win $50, something like that. Which does plus 200 damage, I think it is right now. Then with Wormgod, if you get melee kills increase melee damage. You can have 5 stacks, I think, and it's tops of 650% damage. So this is definitely the maximum single target damage. It needs more setups than Synthoceps, okay? So you need more setup with that, but you get more damage. And it might not work on every encounter. It's same for Synthoceps. If there aren't ads, it doesn't work. Severance Enclosure is great when you want to have some nice ad clearance. And as I said, with that mod setup over here, melees, Thunderclaps back to back. My personal favorite, because it's the most versatile, is Synthoceps. I don't know about you guys, which of the three might be your personal favorite of that one. Let me know here in chat or down in the comments. With that said, let's talk about the weapons to actually wrap it up. So I like to use the new Blood Feud SMG with the perk that gives you back melee energy. And I like to use an arc shotgun, so dead weight comes in handy with Gravedigger and Trench Barrel, because then you get the damage buff and reload with the melee focus build in PvE. That's really nice to have. And as said, for the exotic, I would run Tractor Cannon with that for max damage on bosses, because you get the 30% damage debuff. That's actually hilarious when you use it in Gambit as well, okay? With Synthoceps and the Tractor Cannon. With the stats, so mobility isn't that important. I like to have 60 plus resilience for that build, because the Arc Titan kind of feels squishy. That's also, I don't gonna lie, okay? It's a fun build for certain activities you want to do. But standing still while charging Thunderclap as an Arc Titan, whoo, it's a bit of a it's a bit tricky, okay? Because you're really squishy. Anyway, I like to have the recovery as high as possible. I don't care about discipline or intelligence, and strength you want to go as high as possible, because it's a melee focused build. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is the FAT THOR SLAP build. And I have to say, it's fun, okay? It's fun. It's not the best, but it's fun. It also lags a little bit if you play, let's say, the seasonal activity for 6 people, because most of the time, till you charged your Thunderclap, everything is dead already. If you manage to have a good, if you spread out pretty good, then it's awesome. But for solo stuff and the other seasonal activity for 3 guys, it's actually hilarious. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this little piece of content, and if you want to see more Destiny 2 stuff, especially builds, check the playlist to my left. And if you are more interested in what YouTube algorithm has in petto for you, then check the one below that playlist. If you like my stuff, please leave a like and help Mom's Basement grow. See you next time. DirtyHotte out.